Here are 3 tips that are going to help you with your two-handed backhand. You're going to get speed and control with these 3 tips. The first one is when you take your racket back, think 2 heads are better than 1. So the racket head and your head at the same height. Take the racket back and film yourself. Make sure that the head of the racket is the same height as your head. This is going to help you with racket speed, especially if you use tip number 2, which is a continuous swing. Notice that her racket goes along, right, the C, because it's a C swing, but she uses a continuous swing. Her racket does not pause. By doing this, you get so much more racket speed, and you can use that to hit the ball faster, but also to spin the ball. And the last thing, I want you to notice how she's actually covering up half of her face with her left arm since she's right-handed. When you swing up and through on the two-handed backhand, it's important that you're not bending from the elbows, but lifting from the shoulders. And the result is that your armpits are exposed. We can see her armpits, but she is basically kissing her left bicep.
Now, as an easy way to practice this at home, you've got to get yourself a Topspin Pro. It would mean the world to me if you used my link. I'm going to put it in the description. I'm also going to pin it in the first comment. When you take your racket back, the first tip I want you to think of is keep the racket head and your head at a similar height. So I'm going to do that on the two-handed backhand. I'm not going to take the racket down and have it by my leg. I'm going to take the racket back and have it by my head. This allows for racket speed because then I get gravity-assisted racket speed back here and I get to circle around and hit with speed. So let's do this for a little bit. I'm going to keep the racket head next to my head on the way back. Tip number 2, use a continuous swing. Rather than thinking that you're supposed to take the racket back and stop it, try keeping the racket going. That takes a little bit of timing on your part, but we have to time all of our shots anyway. So we might as well use this timing to our advantage. And one of the best things about Azarenka's backhand is she turns nice and easy on the way back, and then she accelerates at the end. Rather than thinking that you have to yank your racket back, keep the racket head next to your head or at a similar height, 2 heads are better than 1, but nice and smooth and circle around, right? Keep the swing continuous. And last idea, I'll show you this from the front. When you're done hitting a two-handed backhand, I want you to cover up your face with your bicep. So it looks like this. Your racket's up, you're using your continuous swing. I want you to finish like this. Notice you can only see one eye, right? My armpits are exposed. It's kind of like I'm kissing my bicep. When you finish this way, rather than bending from your elbows, but rather you extend up from your shoulders and finish with your elbows high, exposing your armpits, it allows for a longer hitting zone, hitting the sweet spot more often, more depth, more control, and you hit much better backhands. Let me hit a few more. I am going to keep the racket up. 2 heads are better than 1. I'm going to use a continuous swing. And when I'm done, you will not be able to see my face because I'm going to block it for just a second. Last one. Now, if you're looking for people in your local area to play matches against or practice with, or if you want to find a coach who's close to you who can help you with your game, then use my link in the description and pinned in the first comment, playyourcourt.com/2minutetennis. When you use my link to sign up, you get 50% off. Go out and film your backhand. If you already have footage of your backhand, review it and look for these 3 tips. And if you do, there's no doubt you're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2minutetennis.net. You got this.